Greetings. Today I will talk about Columbus's voyage and how he reached the New World. The three ships departed to Canary Islands on September the 6th, 1492. The ships would remain out of sight of land for 5 long weeks, an extraordinarily long time for sailors of that age. Columbus recorded the number of miles the trips traveled each day. He typically used 2 sets of measurements to record the distance. One set was in the Portuguese system recording the distance, and that's the one his crew was familiar with. Columbus used another system as his standard, which used a longer mile than the Portuguese system. Many have believed in the past that he did this to deceive the crew. However, it is now thought that he showed them the Portuguese results, as this is the system they knew. Columbus was the first person to notice a phenomenon called magnetic declination. By mid-September, he noticed that the compass no longer pointed directly north. The compass points to the magnetic north, not true north, as indicated by the position of the North Star. Though they are close together, they are not the same location. The difference between the two angles can be different and can vary seasonally. Columbus at first did not mention this to the crew, fearing it would add to their already mounting fears. When they did notice, he assured them that the compass did not point to the North Star, instead pointing to some specific point on the Earth's surface. His explanation calmed the crew. As the days flowed by, the consternation of the crew increased. Food and water were dwindling and soon reached a point where they would not have enough to return. In late September, they sighted land vegetation floating on the ocean's surface. On October the 7th, a flock of land-dwelling birds flew by the ships. Columbus changed course to match that of the birds. Still, there was no land. On October the 10th, the crew's anxieties rose and mutiny threatened. Columbus told them that if, in 2 days, they did not see land, he would turn around and return to Spain. He did not have to keep that promise, as at 2:00 a.m. on October the 12th, 1492, a crewman on the Pinta gave the cry that he had sighted land. A relieved crew gave a cry of exultation. They had made it. They were in Asia. The name of the island is a source of debate among many historians. Many believe it was San Salvador Island, which was renamed in 1925 to reflect this belief. However, there are other islands it could have been. Columbus spent very little time on this island. After claiming it for Spain, he sailed on. Columbus next encountered the island he called Fernandina on October the 16th. This is now called Long Island in the Bahamas. He did stop there long enough to make contact with a native Arawak tribe. He gave them gifts of beads and leather thongs. He restocked his water cask and sailed on October the 19th. The flotilla sailed on, reaching Cuba on October the 28th. This episode is based on my book, Colonial American History Stories, 1215 through 1664. The articles in the book relate much more detail about the events. The book is the first in a 7-volume series. The book includes almost 300 history stories presented in a timeline that begins in 1215 with the signing of the Magna Carta to the printing of the first Bible in colonial America in 1664. A visit to my website, www.mossyfeetbooks, will provide the sample chapters excerpted from each of my 130 titles, as well as links to purchase the books at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Apple, and many other online book retailers. While you're on the website, please subscribe by registering your email address in the subscribe button. When I post something, usually about 3 to 5 times a week, you'll receive an email. The posts include podcast episodes, YouTube videos, as well as other content, including when I publish a new book. You can also purchase books direct from me off the website. Residents of southeastern Indiana can find my books in Batesville at the Walnut Street Variety Shop on George Street. This podcast will also appear in video format on YouTube on the Mossy Feet Books channel. Subscribe to the channel for more great content. I hope you enjoyed this podcast.